what Hunter x Hunter did for the cringe generation. Now, where am I getting at? This is the video that says, fuck you, anime community. I hate the anime community for what it turned into over time. It's even worse than it was. I'm not talking about the what ifs. Those are sweethearts. Those are honestly good people. The people who said, what if Deku was a Super Saiyan? Everybody who thinks like that, thumbs up to them. But for the people who abuse being an otaku and ignore the outside world, I hate them. I used to be a hikikomori. So what happened was this. I'm going to give you like a short summary. I was a hikikomori. If you don't know what that is, that's somebody who doesn't contribute to society, who stays at home and watches anime. But I wanted coochie. So I had to force myself to go out there. So I went out and I learned a whole lot about girls. I learned a whole lot about how people act. But that's always because I wanted to be a try-hard gangster in high school. And then I figured out the formula. And I'm all like, you know what? Anime is way safer, way more creative, way more, intellectual than the stupid shit you see. Once you actually become street smart, you understand why it's stupid, and you're gonna go right back to anime. I keep on telling a whole lot of people this, like, losing your virginity is not going to take away your love for anime, because it matters how, and it matters literally how intellectual the girl is, because anime is always gonna be in there, and sex is literally just a momentary thing, literally. And that's what happened. I got played by a girl. That's the short summary. I got played by a girl, Lily. I busted a nut. It felt good, but then Lily, I was left and I was struggling, but I always had anime to fall back on. That's the real truth about a lot of these dark rise. But a lot of people are ignoring that bitches ain't shit, this and that, all those lies and hoopla. Now, before you cut me off and say, what does this have to do with Hunter x Hunter? It has everything to do with Hunter x Hunter, because the way the show is written is why you think so simple-minded. I'm gonna give you the exact hint why Hunter x Hunter is so different from Naruto, and why Naruto is better than Hunter x Hunter, because of this. They both have a message. Hunter x Hunter is like this. Hunter x Hunter says it is what it is. Hunter x Hunter teaches you a lot about natural things about nature, how we live in a primitive society, how literally, oh, I don't see this guy buff in society, I don't see this and that, like, literally fucking bury him, literally. Everything natural, literally. What you see is what you get is Hunter x Hunter. But Naruto, they give you so many examples. Two people who go through the same thing, like Naruto and Gaara. It's not about you go through the same thing, it's how you go about it. Literally, so much shit. Hunter x Hunter is what it is, and Naruto it's a lot more to that. And it tells you the backstory. It gives you so many different examples of two, like, parallel timelines of two people who go through the same shit. Naruto versus Sasuke, literally. Fucking literally. When Naruto loses a loved one, he drove for a little bit, but then because he was a good person, he had another person who loved him, who told him to get back up, and he avenged his loved one. So that is literally what it is. You don't see none of that shit in Hunter x Hunter. You don't see that deep shit in Hunter x Hunter. You don't see none of that shit in Hunter x Hunter. It doesn't make you think like that. It makes you think like this. Killua's badass, and that's all I need to know. Everybody wants to be like Killua. Ah ha ha ha. That's one-dimensional. No matter which way you break it, he is a universal character that you can't disagree with, and you can't have that in life. You can't have that undeniable charisma, because that comes with a lot of flaws, which is why Gon ended up stronger, and I want you guys to realize that. This video is based off why people view everything the same way you guys dick ride Killua and Hunter x Hunter. Stop dick riding Killua. There's a lot of flaws to his character. Nobody in real life is gonna be like Killua. People have flaws. This is the reason why the anime community is so fucking cringy. I'm going to go into why it's good, but why it's toxic. Now, how do I feel about Hunter x Hunter? I feel like it's really good. I feel like it's up there, but I don't feel like it gets as nearly a spotlight as I think it should when it comes to the actual meaning of Hunter x Hunter. I feel like there's a whole lot more to Hunter x Hunter that people do not pay attention to. They only pay attention to shit like Killua, oh, baby gone, basic shit. They don't actually pay attention to the real actual philosophies behind Hunter x Hunter. In my honest opinion, I think like it's better than FMA, but FMA is better because it has a better base, it has a better plot, and it has, a better, theme going for it. But Hunter x Hunter, there's a lot more for its theme. So what Hunter x Hunter does is, like, literally, it expands on everyone's, like, Killua's family is really fucking dope. His role in this story is good. Like, literally, Gon's, literally, backstory is kind of ass. I don't care about, like, Ging being a deadbeat dad. I don't give a fuck about that. I really don't, because of the reality of the situation. That nigga is wild, and you have to view shit like that way, but I'm saying it in the context to make you understand that literally fucking so fucking deep. Karapika, deep. Literally fucking the Chimera Ant are deep, but Hisoka hella fucking deep. Like literally a very complex character like Hisoka, literally with Lily with very strange fetishes, but that all ties into his hand-to-hand combat. His personality and his hand-to-hand combat come hand-to-hand is what you need to realize. It's the same reason why he had the same fetish for Gollum, why he ended up on that team in the Green Island arc. Yes, I'm that into anime. I was a nerd before I was stuck struggling. He may seem like somebody who comes off as just a pedophile and that, but really he's an understanding person, and he really has a lot of conflicting views of the world, which is the reason why him and Frollo squared up. And you have to understand that. I feel like it's a very unique anime, especially if you keep watching it. It definitely gives you a reason to say why Hunter x Hunter is up there, but it gives dick ride too much. Everybody dick rides Hunter x Hunter for the wrong reason. Lily, I like Hunter x Hunter, has good music, but what they're failing to realize is they're conveying a message that's specifically made for WoW. You have to think like an animal in order to agree with Hunter x Hunter. And what happened to the anime community is because they created a complex system like Nen, because Nen is so complex is why it always keeps the anime community on its toes. The same reason why the One Piece community is always fucked up. The same reason the One Piece community is always like that. Do you know the reason why Hunter x Hunter is so analytical? Do you know why they made modern anime like this? Because Hunter x Hunter is the reason why you guys focus on how shit is written instead of how entertaining it is. Which is why you guys fall flat when it comes to social interactions. You don't sell yourself in a job interview by literally, oh, well, this is how it's written and this and that. And like, literally, you can't debunk a fight because it wasn't written well. If it's entertaining with great animation, I'm not gonna give a fuck. I'm not gonna give a fuck about Naruto over DBZ. And same thing with none of the other generation. There's a reason why Naruto vs. Pain is so watered down compared to every single Dragon Ball Z fight. Do you know why? Because you motherfuckers kept on thinking you could do Kamehameha. You motherfuckers kept on thinking you could drown yourself in sand. You motherfuckers kept on thinking that literally anime was actually made to be imitated. No. What Hunter x Hunter did is literally it gave that and JoJo gave anime fans an excuse, a legitimate excuse to stay a nerd because of how much context is within the Nen and Hormone power system. There's so much shit that you can always have debate, and it will keep you from the outside world. It's like literally reading a fucking Marvel comic. Literally, there's so much context. Literally, this that you're still unraveling stories, this and that. So that can keep you inside, or you can figure out what the world has to offer, and then you'll truly see what they're referencing. I've lived through Hunter x Hunter's philosophy. Oh, it is what it is, and that's just a lie. Literally, they teach you shit on a one-dimensional aspect. Literally, they teach you shit. Literally, that there's no extra layer other than that. That's how the show is written. You know why? It's meant to show us why we're still animals at the end of the day. But Naruto shows us why we expanded from animals. With all the strategy, with all this and that. That's why Naruto is better. I'm trying to let you guys know that. Because Naruto gives you the backstory. It always reminds you. It always keeps you up to date. It always really gives you an example of really not only how they're feeling, their swagger, the complexity of the situation, how their two different plot lines interfere with each other. That is what real life is about. Naruto versus Neji, literally, that talking and shit, not the Naruto believe it, but the complexity behind the situation, really, looking. I had the mindset of you, but I couldn't make it because I come from the lower branch of the family. And that is so fucking true. That is a real life example. Literally, I can be stronger than you, I can be everything, but if I don't have the same social connection as you, I can't do shit. And that is what makes Naruto real. It tells you why it is what it is. It doesn't just state, oh, he's more powerful and that's it. That's what Hunter x Hunter is. Now, there's this thing called YouTube, where literally, it doesn't matter how socially awkward you are, it doesn't matter how bad you are in public, you can get paid money off being analytical like that. So all you have to do is literally be analytical of a fucking anime. You can make tons of money on YouTube. You can live on your own. You can be as socially awkward as you fucking want. And I'm like, no! That gives them an excuse to stay little kids when they're grown-ass men. It's okay to have fun and debate, but when it comes to the point where literally you are shunning other people for shit not being canon, that is the definition of childish. I don't care what material things you have. You don't understand how cringy Hunter x Hunter is. Literally, so fucking out there where it comes to their fan base, where it comes to how much people defend it. I understand Hunter x Hunter is one of those real animes that really teaches you a lot about life and literally, but literally, Hunter x Hunter can give you the motivation to give up at certain aspects. I'm gonna give you the inspiration what made this video. I figured out the reason why I was never really, accepted online when it comes to trolling. I'm not just talking about the animation rap thing. I'm talking about like Jamal's community when they're super analytical about anime. Swag Kage shit. The real reason why I didn't fit in is because of this shit called Hunter x Hunter. I I think it's cool, but I don't love Hunter x Hunter. I don't dick ride it, and the reason why is because of this. So I'll put it like this. I started watching that Chimera Ant arc around season 2 of the Arrow when they were all watching it in season 1. So basically, when I came along, they were all watching it, and they were calling me a fruit because I wasn't watching Hunter x Hunter. And he's like, man, you really got fuck with that shit. That shit goes hard. And literally, so fucking I'm gonna give you a hint. That shit was specifically made for me to be held back. I'm talking about the 2011 version. Fuck that other version. I'm talking about the way they portrayed it was in a way to make every nerd have the excuse to stay a nerd. That is literally what Hunter x Hunter was carrying. What we started to do for the anime community as a whole, they did the same thing with One Piece. Why is One Piece getting so fucking long? It's because we accept it and we don't call it out. We accept this shit is the only thing that we fuck with. That's why it's expanded on, and that's why One Piece is the new Detective Conan. You really think we get a new person into One Piece by literally showing them the episode list? No, you have to cheat a little bit. You have to show them the highlights of One Piece, and then they might be able to watch the series. I'm sorry, but that's how a real human mind works. Like, you're being very unreasonable. You want me to watch 1,000 episodes and half the shit is bullshit? No. That's the reality of the situation. That is why I learned how to have charisma, and why I learned that you have to learn how to, spice things up where it comes to shit in order to get people involved. So what I started to realize is the Hunter x Hunter philosophy is kind of like played into what a lot of people was talking about. So there's this guy named HxH Jones who I used to talk to online who loves Hunter x Hunter, who literally, I have battle with him on my channel. If you go check out my anime rap battle playlist, I battle him, where he's the Hunter x Hunter character, and I really don't like it. Everybody kept on schooling me, even Bushido was like, man, you slippery, Riz. Motherfucker, you don't know that Naruto won't be shit without Hunter x Hunter. This and that. I'm like, Orochimaru is so much more complex than Hisoka. I shouldn't even be making that comparison. But I can be just like the anime community. That's literally fucking my subconscious at the time. I didn't care about Hunter x Hunter because how whack the drip was. The drip wasn't strong enough to get me involved. They gave me this thing called a story. And the shit kept me content. I was still getting no pussy. I was feeding for Panda Express here and there. I was watching with my older brother. Literally, it did not literally change my situation. Hunter x Hunter didn't literally inspire me to be better as a person. Anime is supposed to do that. Anime is supposed to, if you really live life and you go back and you look at literally, when you surpass your goals in life, when you actually live life and literally take advantage of every situation to the fullest, like how you're supposed to do, you're gonna look back at your favorite anime protagonist and you're gonna be like, man, he is so fucking cool. Like, literally, just that. You're gonna feel like you can be inspired by anime, but nope, not with Hunter x Hunter. Hunter x Hunter gives you none of those. But they do give you a whole bunch of epic shit, like, Killua lifting 2 kilos at a guy at Green Island, Nerfapito killing Gon Sensei, Illumi telling Killua not to get into a fight that he's not gonna win. All that shit, all those motherfucking shit are like literally hardcore, undeniable shit. And when you translate all that shit into, that shit is no more than street knowledge. And the reason why it's street knowledge is because Hunter x Hunter is an animal wild-based show, which is why literally everything is so simple and hits hard. In real life, you understand that once you watch both series and you live life. Naruto is chess and Hunter x Hunter is checkers. Look at how considerate they have to be in fucking Naruto. Look at the fucking speeches that fucking Naruto and Sasuke give. Like, literally fucking Sasuke's like, you've never had a fucking family. How can you feel for me? We don't get none of that at Hunter x Hunter. You have to think on Sasuke's level in that situation in order to survive in life. And people don't think that. So back to HxH Jones. So literally, I was going through shit. I was jumping to conclusions. But what you see is what you get. Like, literally. So it was at the time where I was being desperate to get where Abby. Well, literally, I was trying hard. And I was literally just fiending for that cleavage. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I was going all out, literally. I was making songs after songs and songs, like pretending to be a rapper trying to impress her. I was doing this and that. And so literally, there came one time where I confessed to Jones and literally I was being too analytical of the ARO. I'm like, hey, King Ace, like literally, because what we did was we made a separate league because the ARO was being biased. So we created a league to try to rival them, and we fell flat. And literally, what happened is I kept on saying, you know what King Ace did? He told everybody about our members, and literally, you know how I was incognito, and literally this, that, I think Ace is being incognito, and Jones is all like, yo. He has a picture of Karabika for his profile pic at the time. He's like, yo, you're being too analytical. Literally, all these substances, man. You just gotta chill. And Hunter x Hunter teaches you how to chill, doesn't he? Killer was hella chill, isn't he? Fucking, but real life, nobody, like, a whole lot of people aren't in the same position as Killer. I'm sorry, not everybody can be royalty, buddy, to a point where we can just chill. There's something missing in my life, and I had to figure out what it was. That's the reality of the situation. You don't understand, because he kept on saying this and that, but this is the same person who shunned me for saying shit. And they live in such a cringy community, and the reason why he gets away with that is because he views shit the same way. Like, literally, oh, all I have to do is get high and watch fucking Pito kill Kite. Like, literally, that's literally Jones's mindset. Jones's trigger is younger than time. Me, I'm struggling. I have society attacking me for not going to school, not going to work. And Hunter x Hunter literally made me survive day by day. And I'm like, you know, the same way I just figured it out that I survived Hunter x Hunter. Literally, it was a cool show that kept me content, but it was a big distraction for what I was missing in life. Because I put it like this. There was this time where I showed a picture of Nerf and Pito with Lily, her breast out in the chat, and guess what they did? You know what they did? They're like, Riz, delete that shit. I'm like, why? I'm like, because Pito's a guy. I'm like, Pito's a guy? He's all like, yeah, don't you read the manga? I'm like, no, she's sexy as fuck. He's like, no, Pito's a guy. I'm like, I don't care, she's sexy as fuck. Do you not see tits in those pictures? He's like, no, Pito's a guy. You can't get girls with that mentality. You're really gonna deny how sexy she is. I might as well be gay then. Look, I'm sorry. And if you really want me to break down your stupid ass analytical, you want me to murk you fucking nerd? You know why Haku is more recognizable as a girl than Nerf and Pito? Do you know why Haku is a better transvestite, quote unquote? It's because Haku has masculine action. Haku performs in a way of masculine, when Nerf and Pito is 100% feminine with masculine tendencies. The only thing masculine is her fucking thighs, dumbass. So it's okay for me to view her like that because she portrays herself as feminine throughout the entire fucking show, dumbass. Even when she's taking care of someone, if you don't know how to take care of a kid, you fucking nerd, fucking what she's doing is, you know how she was taking care of the kid or her medical ninjutsu, you dumb fuck? Do you think I'm not analytical like that? What that is that shows that she's a mother, that she's taking care of a child, and that she's really concerned about her child's well-being. That's why Nerf and Pito has feminine tendencies, you fucking nerd. And you straight up pulled this can and not can bullshit when it came down to having style and having a soul. And that's why you guys fall flat in life, because you guys aren't willing to think like that. You guys are literally willing to debunk Goku versus Pikkon. Do you know that's one of my favorite fights in Dragon Ball? Do you know that literally that is one of the most unique things that happen in a tournament in Dragon Ball? And you have the excuses like, oh, well that shit wasn't canon. I'm sick and tired of your nerds spoiling every fucking thing with your stupid ass mentality. Get more down to earth when you watch anime. You realize why this shit isn't just a fucking cartoon, and why it inspires so many people to do better, and why it's so incorporated with life and the laws of the universe and martial arts. You don't know the truth behind anime. You speak on it like you know everything, you fucking nerds. That shit makes me sick to my fucking stomach. You being so technical like that, you will never get a girl being that cringy. You will never get a girl literally being that down to the bone when it comes to source material. Do you think that you are going to impress her being Naruto instead of being DBZ? No, you gotta be DBZ all the way when you deal with women, bro. Stop blowing your lights out, literally fucking being too analytical about Japanese manga and anime, and actually look at the multiple options that you can do in anime. You can make it a Brit series, you can make it A and B, you can do so much, you can literally, so much shit you can do with anime. Anime can be so social, but you choose to keep it at a nerd level because you don't want to admit the fact that you're wrong, and it keeps you opinionated. Oh, I have the right to be opinionated because I do my research. That's still opinionated because you shoved it down somebody's throat instead of actually letting them have a free opinion. I hate what Hunter x Hunter and what One Piece and what they all did for the anime community. You can stay nerds forever, and literally, there's so much material that you can be content. And I'm gonna make another anime video to follow this up. And you analytical nerds think that I'm not as hipped on anime as you are. You think I'm just a school jock, you think I'm just a hoodlum? Watch when I make the next anime community video that's gonna shock your fucking mind about how much I know about anime. Actually live life to actually see what you're truly representing instead of what you think you're representing by looking shit up online.